Just make sure you talk into the microphone so they can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
Get up close here.
Welcome. You're listening to Beyond the Front Door podcast with Lindy and Rhea at Peak Properties. We are real estate agents here in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and we bring you stories that make you laugh, cry, cringe, inform you, inspire you. Did I say that?
Yeah.
Come on in. We put the real in real estate. Our guest today is Ryan Warner. He is an agent here at Peak Properties also.
Yay.
Yay. Also,
Peak for life.
yep, Peak's the best.
It is.
Also, he is the owner of Apex. You don't want me to say power washing?
That's just a.
That's just one part of it. Okay.
Yeah.
So Apex Property
Property
Care.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. We can't wait for him to tell you all about it because they don't know a lot of people who are doing all of that stuff.
Yeah, and I don't even know if I know everything that you're doing, so
Yeah.
it's going to
I
be
don't
good to
even
know it all.
everything I'm doing.
Oh,
So
that's funny. I was just, as we were talking, I was thinking, I think I even sent you a message as to an idea of something to add to it, and I don't even remember what it was. But now I'm going to have to go back and look. Do you remember?
which one?
I know I sent you a message sometime in the last 6 months, and I was like, hey, you should add this to what you're doing. And I did.
Ooh, I bet if I looked.
Yeah,
I
that's
got you
okay.
saved.
We'll do it another time. That was
Came up
You
with a
got me
business
saved.
idea.
Yeah, I did. Anyway, well, thanks for coming on today, Ryan.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Honored to be here.
Wonderful. So we're wondering if you could just start off and tell us a little bit about yourself, like how long you've lived in Cheyenne, your family, how you got going in these two jobs.
Yes, I'll just keep it however it goes. My dad ended up out here because of the Air Force. Wait, am I looking?
You look at us.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Came out here. My mom and dad are from the Northeast Central Massachusetts. He ended up out here because of the Air Force. He would work in the missile fields. My mom. This is how I ended up in Cheyenne.
Yes.
Okay.
Got it. Following.
My mom worked at his uncle's restaurant called Landlord Benson's Server. They ended up, building a relationship and falling in love and what have you. And he would come out to Wyoming and go back and visit her. And then I think he ended up going out there and asking him to marry her on, I don't want to say it's Christmas, somewhere one of those
Holidays.
Yeah, and so they ended up going out to California. That's where I was born, in Santa Barbara at Lompoc Air Force Base, if I
Okay.
pronounce that. Then moved here when I was 3. Basically grew up on the Air Force Base because my mom and dad that's where they worked. 14 years old, moved overseas. My mom, a civilian for the Air Force, was the training curriculum specialist for the Child Development Center in Germany, one of the Air Force bases over there.
I swear, sometimes it's like Kismet, isn't it?
Our guest this morning was
From Germany.
Okay. Okay.
You're like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, Germany
Yeah.
again.
Then we ended up coming back here, and I think in 2006, because she was done, and then finished. They both finished, retired, and I've just been in Cheyenne and just doing my thing.
A lot of things. What
Yeah.
have you done?
Gosh, well, I went to LCCC. I did construction technology with your brother. So
That's how I know Ryan.
Okay.
This really is like
how he knows
a
our whole family.
office.
Yes,
it really is.
Like everybody does know and take care of each other, and it's really nice. But yeah, did that. Finished in like 08. Did HVAC installation commercial for 4 years, something like that, for the local 103 Sheet Metal Workers Union. Basically, I was an apprentice, and we had an apprenticeship program here, and they would just bounce us from one company to another. But it was nice because you could see how different places ran different things. Finished there, they laid me off. Then a guy that I worked with on the job sites, I just befriended him. He told me that his son, or I don't know, stepson or former, whatever, he did custodial, just nighttime custodial work. and they said you should come work for us just until you get back on. And I thought, okay, and I did it for about a month just because I wasn't doing anything, and they paid me, and I thought, oh, I think I can do this. And I was like, how did you guys do this? And they basically told me, and I figured it out. And then I went crazy on custodial for like 2012 to 2019, 6-7 years. It was really nice. And in that time I bought
And you cleaned businesses.
Yeah. I did houses, but it was the PCS contracts on base. So that's really the only, but I would much rather do a business than a house any day.
Well, it sounds like a lot of your careers have been around properties. Yeah. And so my dad used to own a custodial business a long time ago, and I'd have to go with him to help clean businesses. And yes, I would far prefer cleaning businesses than, because it's a set, it's sort of a set thing, other than maybe, the bathrooms, you're dealing with bathrooms in both the home and in the business. But other than that, offices are a little different to clean, for sure. I agree. Or businesses, I should say. Yeah,
because it's not a private space, so you would hope they would keep their area much, but you never know. But yeah, I did that, and then I ended up getting a lot of buildings downtown, like banks and just big buildings, and I had to get real vacuums, bigger, more expensive ones, and so I ended up going to Authorized Vacuum on Lincoln Way, Logan, 1608 East Lincoln Way. Yeah, it was a great place. I ended up going there and made friends with the owner, and then I ended up buying Authorized Vacuum, ran it for, I don't know, 8 years or something, owned it for 8 years, sold it last year to Cowboy Jones, and then I just...
And you were like, next?
Yeah,
you just thought, like, what am I going to do next? Well, real estate? Is that what you decided?
Yeah, well, with real estate, I don't
you
even
just
know how
thought
to
we were
explain
so
it.
cool?
No,
Yes, you did.
I
You just liked Corey so much.
Yeah, basically. Yes, Corey was basically a lot of the reasons, because he did my insurance for my cleaning company, so I would always come here and torture him and stuff, and we'd make fun of each other. And Deb, the other broker, she would say, I don't know how you guys are friends. You say such terrible things to each other. And I'm just like, that's just how
they're mean.
I'm like, that's how you make friends with him.
It is. He does,
just make fun of him.
Respect you.
Yeah.
If you just let him beat you down, he doesn't like you.
I got it. I know.
He's
kind of a prankster.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. He's got me a couple of times, but yeah, Corey was just like, you should get it. And then I had a lot going on for 6-7 years with custodial and that, and then finally I had time to do the class, and I just did it, and it took me twice to pass it, but it's been nice, and it's been hard though, so I don't really know. I just think it's good to have a real estate license. It just opens up so many doors. You learn so much, and you literally never know when one of your friends or somebody's gonna know that you're a realtor and say, I need you to do something for me, whether it's buy or list. And I think anybody will tell you those are the words they want to hear. Every day.
Yeah.
So, but after I sold my vacuum store last year, I just kind of I don't want to say I took a year off.
Well, it sounds to me like you took a hiatus. I took a, what is it called? You took a
sabbatical,
a gap year.
Yeah,
I know, a gap year.
Yeah, I took a gap year. Is what I took, because it was just a lot of work. The vacuum store. I always go back to this. I had to run the vacuum store during a really turbulent time in our country. And I think that was a lot for me mentally as well as everybody else. You know what I mean? Who had anything to do with basically living here in America. And that also was another thing when somebody said, I'll buy your business. I have my real estate license and my family owned the building. And the guy was like, the only way I will buy your business is if you can sell me the building. And I was like, psh. I was like,
okay.
Yeah. I called my business partner, Dad, and I said we should take care of that. And so he did it too. And it's like Corey said, you can. I don't even want to sound bad or anything, but you can definitely get some nice checks from real estate transactions that you wouldn't otherwise get
at a normal job.
At a normal job. That's not to say a normal job isn't good. I'm just not built for a normal job.
Well,
can't
and there are
still.
certain people, and there's like, I have this conversation with my husband a lot because, and there's people who just want to have that 9-to-5 job. There's also benefits to that. You get to go home and it doesn't end, and you also aren't working for free and not knowing when you're going to get paid.
Yep.
But when you do, that's why we get paid sometimes more, because we are taking the risk of getting no money.
Yeah.
For
like 3
but
months,
for
you know,
like a
4 months.
typical job, the way you build wealth is with your income. But if you were just in a, like, for instance, I'm just going to pick on my husband because he understands this and I don't think he'd be offended, but he's a police officer. He can only make so much money.
Yeah.
You only have so much time. You could work overtime, so you could get some more. But like in real estate, you can do certain things, even like you starting this side gig business that also falls into real estate.
Yes.
When you're an
you
entrepreneur,
can make more income.
When you're an entrepreneur, the harder you work, the more you make.
Yes.
Whereas in a typical 9-to-5 job, the harder you work, you're not necessarily going to make more.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big difference. But there's some security with the
Yes.
9-to-5 job,
And you
the
have insurance. And,
yeah.
Yes.
That's why I think a lot of homes and families have one of each.
Yes.
Right. One person that holds down the fort with the benefits and the steady job, and the other one that's the entrepreneur. You know, we have that in our home. You have that in your home. I don't know if you have that in your home or not, but it just is common, I think.
We figure it out.
Yeah. So I want to back up for just a second, because this conversation has given me an idea, Lindy. I think we need like a chalkboard up on the wall. And what made me think of this is when I went to the Florida Keys and I went into the tattoo shop, we went in to get these little tattoos, and they had like, apparently when people go to the Keys, everybody gets a palm tree tattoo, which is what I did. So there's like marking how many people so far that year had gotten a palm tree tattoo. Anyway, this is a long roundabout way to say that I think we need a chalkboard that says, what brought you to Cheyenne? Because I think the top 3 answers are, I fell in love, job
with that person.
Yep, a job, or the Air Force Base. Or those are our top 3, do you suppose? But I do feel like we get a lot of I fell in love, and I would really love to start tracking that. Like how many people, and really, is that what it takes to get people to move to Wyoming? Is that fell in love? So I guess that's
Love gets people to Wyoming.
Love gets people to Wyoming. That's a great tagline. We're going to have to add on to that. But anyway, when you said that, I was like, how many people have said that they fell in love or their parents fell in love and that's why they're here? Yeah. Absolutely. So anyway, not to completely go off course, but I had to get that off my head. We need a chalkboard in here, I think, and keep track of what brought people here. But I do think it's love, Ryan. I think it's love. Okay.
So you're doing real estate. You realize it's hard.
It's hard.
So that's the other reason you get paid well sometimes.
Yes, you get paid well, and
but
you know, like this sounds bad. Inflation can be a good and a bad thing. The most amount of money I've ever made in my life is from a real estate deal. So, and this is just me, like, you've known me forever, and you're like, oh, you're like, good, you know, you'd be like, wow, good job. And so, that's what I really like about it. Those don't come very often, but you can hit that more than you think if you try. You just have to kind of find a zone, I guess. But that's what I like so much about real estate, and kind of like what you said early on about property. I don't know what book, if it was like Ninja Selling, or I don't know, that there's all sorts of ways to make money in the real estate industry. It doesn't necessarily mean you're selling or buying a house, which the landscaping's in the real estate industry, this and that. I would say
every day I think of something that we need more of. We need movers. We need moving companies.
Yep.
We need.
But
we need what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Cleaning people.
Out of all those, the best deal to get, I guess pertaining to real estate would be a listing or a buyer's age. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Out of those 50, 60 things, or say you got a huge property maintenance contract, you're doing like $350 a year or something off. That's awesome too, but that's so much labor. You're going to have insurance, so many people. But if you're a singular realtor and you're at a brokerage and you start ripping them out, you can do well yourself, and it's basically you are very independent, but you can make the money of like a 30-person company. That.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, because we talk about this a lot in my family. We have a lot of entrepreneurs in my family, and
yes, you do.
Yes, I do. And my mother owned a restaurant, and the restaurant business is very hard.
Oh, yeah.
And part of when you own a company like that is you're reliant on staff to help you grow your business and to help make it credible.
Because you can't do it by yourself.
Because you cannot do it by yourself. So there's the kind of entrepreneurs where you are building a business where you're hiring staff and you're managing X number of staff and increasing your number of staff. And then you have the kind of careers or entrepreneurial activities where it's just you. Really you're independent. And I'm with you. I have been an independent contractor, whether it's been in real estate or other things, since for 10 years now, and I wouldn't even do it any other way now, because I like being responsible for myself. I don't want to have to, I'm just not somebody that wants to hire employees to grow a business, and I think that's kind of what I hear you saying. You want to work independently to earn your income.
And the harder you work, the more you make.
And the harder, yes.
Or if you want to take your year off,
you can do that. Yeah.
I didn't take this year off.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just kind of burned out, and I think one of the best parts of this time in our lives is people are all about the self-care. I'm just like, hey, I'm the self-care.
I gotta take care of myself.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, go get a massage, or go do that, because that is important at the end of the day too. And luckily, I was able to be in that position, but I wasn't like, living lavish.
High on the hog.
Yeah, I was just like, I can chill for a little bit, but then it got nice again in April, March, and I started getting back to it. And real estate has been tough for me. I've just been lucky to get some really good transactions, mostly from friends and family members, and a couple random ones. But during the slow times and the higher interest rates and the inflation, and which is what I was talking about earlier with real estate, inflation in real estate helped me take that year off. I got something for like $100,000, and 5 years later I sold it for double that.
Sure.
And selling my business, that was kind of another thing with a real estate transaction that was really nice. So yeah, inflation can be good and bad. It just depends on what side of it you're on. But we're all going to the same grocery store.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We all got to put on our pants one leg at a time.
Yeah, at least
grocery store.
Yeah, at least I got to see the other side of inflation a couple times. But it's not all bad.
Well, tell us about your newest adventure then.
Yeah. So.
And what? Yeah, I want to hear, what is it, and why did you decide to do that?
Well, man, this is
the Apex Property
Care. Yeah. Well, one problem I have is that I can be impulsive sometimes, and so I had sold the business, and I was like, where am I gonna go? I've gone there for 7 years. I'm like, what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? I was kind of having I don't know. I was like, oh, cool, I made all this money and I can go to Little America every day this summer. You know what I mean? But I was like, where else do I go? Because I wasn't used to staying at home, and I just kind of took that month off in June, and then I was looking at stuff like businesses to start this and that, and I saw something about pressure washing. And when I worked on base doing the houses, I also pressure washed their bins. It'd be garages full of bins, like 50, 60 just stuff. Imagine this room on top of each other. And I would do that with my little 22.
What were the bins? Just like
trash bins.
trash bins. Okay, yeah.
Recycling. And
That's what I thought.
Or trash and recycling.
Okay.
Yes, those bins. And I had remember doing that, and why I liked it so much. I think I liked it so much because I made like $1,000 in 2 hours doing it. You know
Well, I
what
think
mean?
it's
'Cause
satisfying too.
It is satisfying.
Yeah.
But I didn't even use chemicals. I actually, one of the kids that was working for me, I had him do it, and I left, and I came back and got him. And I was like, man, that was awesome. So I remember that. And I saw this thing, and this, man, I probably just got hooked hard, but it was good. And it was like something about pressure washing, and this kid was like, I make $1,000 a day pressure washing. Of course, the normal human, all they're going to hear is $1,000. They're not going to hear anything
You're
else.
like, yes.
And you're like, how many days in a year? 360? Really? That's not how it works. But
Sure.
that's possible. And so I had started looking, and I ended up finding this trailer mount pressure wash company called Mud Dog Trailers in North Carolina. And I dropped a little cash on it, but it's a serious machine. It has a heating element, everything. And I kind of just was like, I have a hard time. I don't even know how to explain this. Like, I don't have a lot of things, but the things I do have are nice.
Sure.
So I'm like, I'm not just going to get some.
Well, and also, if you're going to charge people, you can't be some pressure washer they can go buy for $100.
Exactly. If you.
Like, I would be like, I'll just
Thank
go
you.
wash my own deck then for
that's-
$100.
That's a common. Yeah, that's.
But you're doing it at a commercial level.
At a commercial level, all commercial equipment, trailer mount. It has the heating equipment. It has a chemical tank with the injector, things like that. I can do restaurants, patios, anything like that. But I guess getting back, that's what I did, because I saw that kid's pressure washer. He's like 19, and he's from Florida and Tampa, and I'm like, man, with all the trees and organics, because that's what you're removing when you're power washing. Power washing means there's a couple of differences. Power washing is what I do. That just means I have heat. I can have heat. Pressure washing is just cold water. Typically a power washer, that's going to be for surface cleaning, concrete, pavers, stuff like that. So you need that minimum 3,500 PSI. I see the little ones at other stores with 4,500 PSI, and I'm like, man, that thing must just be like howling. I don't know, but that's the main difference. And you're really just, to make myself sound fancy, I call myself a surface restoration specialist.
Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, that makes sense. Instead of a pressure washer,
it's
surface.
they're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, so, but it doesn't matter. I just like to make up titles for
Sure.
myself. But that I saw his apparatus or his setup, and I'm like, what is that? And I'm like, it's on a trailer. I had never seen a trailer pressure washer before, but I knew. I just said, I have to get that. I can't get. And I looked for a month or two on what to buy. And there was ones with heating elements and this and that, and then I found Mud Dog, and it was actually a pretty decent price, and they took care of me over there. So that is just, that's why I call it. Let me back up. Hopefully I'm not rambling. I started off calling it Apex Pressure Washing Systems LLC. That's what it was last year. But then this year I just changed it to Apex Property Care, and I got an EIN, everything like that. So now I can do pressure washing. When someone asks me, if I get a check, I can a real estate transaction, I can make it out to Apex Property Carrot. I turn it into like a real business entity. But there's so many things that I can put under that umbrella.
Yeah, you could keep evolving and adding things to it.
Yes, like next week, I also have a Class D install license with the city, so it's like non-trade install. Like next week, I'm doing a hotel install. It's 114 rooms. They want me to put up 114 closet rods for the rooms. And so that's called FFE, Furniture, Fixtures, Equipment. Furniture, Fixtures, Equipment. But I mean, that's just another type of property thing. You know what I mean? So, but I just like having the pressure washer, and then
you clean out gutters. What are you doing?
Yeah, what are some of the common things you're doing?
Lately, it's been patios, gutters a lot, surface cleaning, like Freddy's over. Now someone's gonna try to take Freddy's from me. Pressure washer.
Back off, people.
Yeah. Places like that. I've done banks, but mostly lately surface cleaning. I personally love that. It's the wand and stuff is not bad. I also just recently, luckily, got a brand ambassadorship with Surface Max. They are a professional power washing equipment manufacturer, and they're in all the Lowe's.
Oh, sure.
In America, and so they're gonna send me stuff, and I have to do content. And that's one of my other favorite things to do is.
I saw you're doing so good with your videos.
I love making videos.
Yeah.
Gosh, I didn't realize that was one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So this year has just been such a difference from last year. Because I think I just started too late, and I had too late in the year, I guess, to really get going, because it is kind of seasonal. So if it's seasonal, you better
get going early.
You better knock something out, you know. And so this year I was just like, get after it, and then May, June, July, I did really good. August, nothing. But during that time, I was dropping door hangers, stopping in to businesses. If I see a construction site, you can't stop me from going. I'll walk right back into the Connex. I'm like, may I please speak to the property manager? Boom, here's my card. I don't know how. I'm just not scared to do that.
That's awesome.
Door to door, door knocking. I am scared to door knock.
No, we've talked about that before.
Someone might punch you in the
nose.
nose.
You know what I mean? Like, dang.
I think door knocking is easier to do with somebody with you.
So let me say this. I am applying for my door knocking license with the city of Cheyenne. Sorry, I didn't even do that.
The city of Cheyenne. I just had to say
the
it.
City my mouth.
Ryan, that's you.
The city of Cheyenne. So if you do that, you can do it on their website, and it's $100 for the license and then $15 for the badge, and you can do it for 2 weeks.
Okay.
But it at least protects you from soliciting. And if you see, I do door hangers. Right now I do door hangers. I get them, I print out my QR code, I put it on it with a sticker. There's just all sorts of fun marketing ways you can do with things, and I'll hit neighborhoods. I've been doing like Western Hills a lot because lots of trees, lots of patios. You know what I mean? It's early right now, but in September, October, I think that's when that will hit. You know what I'm saying? But
clean it off for winter.
But with the door hangers, I called the city, and they are very, very helpful, without a doubt. They've helped me a lot.
They're not shitty?
No, their service is not that.
We're not going to let you live in town.
No, and so the door hangers, they say you can put a door hanger up because you're not door knocking. You can't put it in a mailbox because that's against the law. You have to have a stamp. You can't just put a door, because some people don't know, and people have learned from people calling and yelling at them, which is me. I'm like, oh,
which is me.
My bad. I didn't mean to.
Trust me, there's people I see all the time. They're like, people look for those badges if you knock on their door.
And I'm like, hey, you know what? I get it, because With the door knocking, people don't know how to act. They come to your door and they act, kind of not the best. And so that's why I've started off with the door hangers. And then I just thought, if you do want to do that, you don't need the door-to-door permit. But I'm just saying, if there's anybody watching, if they do, just do it. And it takes a week to process, and you get it for 2 weeks. But for me, like, I'm like, okay, I'll do that. $115, and I'll knock 300 doors.
Sure.
And say you get 20 jobs
Yeah.
in 2 weeks,
It's
or
worth it.
even more. So I'm going to try to apply for it Monday, get done with this job next week. And so then it'll be done, and then I can use those 2 weeks. But I would still be scared even if you have the thing.
Yeah, because people are, some
get
people
it.
are receptive and some are not. Yeah.
Yes. I even bought a name tag, so it makes me look, and I'm like, you can scan my QR code. It goes to my Google reviews. It goes to my Instagram. It goes to my Facebook. I'm not, I don't know, whatever. I'm not scamming, but there is a lot of that out there.
Yeah.
I was doing the avenues a couple weeks ago, and I saw a guy walking around asking about checking meters, and he asked about my parents' house, and I said, they're not home, and he's like, well, yeah, I just want to, and I said, I'm like, they're with Black Hills, like, no. And I saw him walking up the street today. And I said, you know what? He's trying, though. I said, he's been hitting these streets.
Yeah.
So I just said, good job, because it is hot out.
Yeah.
So,
It is
good, and it
in
sucks.
summertime.
it stinks right now. It doesn't stink, but I don't care what kind of material you have. If it's 85, 90, you're dripping.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And the nicer neighborhoods have the longer sidewalks and they have bigger lots. So
Sure.
you're
Yeah.
getting that work in. But it's good.
So just to wrap back around to the
Yeah.
Apex property
Yes.
care, if people want to find you and heading into fall, you would say primarily surface care, gutters, things of that nature to get ready for winter. I think that's the main thing I want to know is how can people utilize your services to get ready for winter? How do they find you? That sort of thing.
Oh, okay. Well, we're on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We're on the internet too. Google. You can look us up. Like I was saying, it's seasonal. One thing I do run into is I will go to somebody's house and I'll say, "Do you need your gutters done?" And they'll be, "No." And it looks like their gutters are going to mustache.
From the
I mean,
leaves.
seriously. And I'm
You're
just-
like, I can see you
I'm
need
like, okay, well,
help.
yeah, I'm just thinking, okay, well, yeah, this is going nowhere, but what people don't realize is that could freeze, it could get under your shingles, it could damage. You've seen property damage before. Water is undefeated. And so, yeah, it might have been good last year. You're like, oh, those have been clogged for 6 years. The 7th year, something gets up in there, something falls. And we do full downspout. We get up. We can do a drone inspection of your property.
That's good to
You know
know.
what I'm saying? To keep it safe, because some roofs are high, and I like doing that as well. That's another fun part of my job, and it kind of gives the client another cool aspect of what their home looks like. And on my social media, you'll always see me. Usually, I try to get on like a social media schedule because I need hand holding. So I did that. And yeah, I'd use a lot of aerial drone shots because it just makes for good content too. That's another thing that I really like doing.
Well, and most of us don't know what the top of our house looks like.
Well, and I was going to
Or our
say,
roof. or our gutters,
You would
like-
be surprised.
and the problem with leaving your leaves up there is that if they get, and our family has a property that we rent out as an Airbnb here, and there's like an overhang over the door, and leaves get caught in that overhang over the door, and it starts to smell. So it's not even just that the leaves are
They'll
in there.
rot.
Yeah.
They just rot.
Yeah, they do. They rot, and you have to get in there and clean them out. And
It could ruin your gutters.
yes.
Lots
So
of things. If you
there's a
clog
lot
them,
of
it can-
benefits to, and
If your
even
gutters
just,
are clogged, it can ruin your ground, the concrete around your house.
I'm sure just even doing a good, like in the spring too, like a pressure wash of your house, getting all the snow and dirt
cleaning.
off,
Absolutely.
getting your gutters cleaned out, just getting it sparkling and looking nice
Yeah.
has to, yeah.
And I'm not absurdly expensive either. I try to work with my clients. A big job is probably $1,000 or something, but that would be a full type deal, like gutters, windows, driveway, you know what I mean?
Sure, the whole works.
But it is a lot more affordable than you think. And yeah, the main thing I run into with people is they say I can do that myself, and I think I'm like, I'm not gonna sit there and argue with somebody about that. I say you could go get a power washer yourself, but do you know how long to let the chemical dwell? Do you know what is even on your patio? Is that grease? Is that bird dropping? Do you need an enzyme that dissolves? Or do you need hot water? You know what I mean? And that's,
Well, and it goes what we say
there's
all
a
the
lot of
time on here.
stuff.
You don't know what you don't know. And when you go with a professional, and you know that you're getting it done to the best of that person or that company's ability. And if you're hiring a professional, and if something doesn't come up, then I'm guessing, of course, that you have some advice on how to proceed. But I guess my other answer is, or my other thought and what you're saying is that how much is your time worth? I have to ask myself that all the time when when you're putting in 12 and 15-hour days, and all of a sudden, time has went by and you got to clean your bathroom or you got to clean your floors or whatever the case is. At some point, it behooves you to hire somebody to come in and clean your house, or have somebody come in and pressure wash your, the outside, or to mow your yard, or to shovel your driveway, or whatever the case is. It just depends on your priorities and what are you going to make time for. If I would have all the things hired out if I was in a position to do so, because
Yes.
you know that it's getting done to the best that it can be done, and it's getting done,
Absolutely.
instead of neglecting it, would be my other thought is, are you actually going to do it, or is it just kind of be one of those things that maybe gets put off for another year?
And then, you have to keep your house healthy too. Like, much like your body, you neglect something with your health, and then all of a sudden something is going on with inside you. And it's like, if you neglect your home, something could happen.
Well, and we
too.
always know as realtors, when we walk into a home, if that homeowner has been regularly maintaining the home and taking care of it the whole time,
Yeah.
or if they haven't been, it's a clear, distinct difference, between a home that's been well maintained and taken care of over many years, or if it's been sporadic or just recently, or, whatever. And too, on the tail end of it, you're playing some catch up, right? Just like what you're saying, if you end up with some type of illness or disease, there's some catch up you got to do to get your body back in alkaline and, get it healthy and all those things.
And most times that is hard to get it back to
It's
normal.
more expensive.
Yeah. After you've
Yeah.
kind of hit the wall. But that's the main thing that I just try to preach, whether it is commercial, well, not preach, just convey to my clients, is I'm going to take care of your home. I am not a I don't even know what words we're allowed to say here.
All
You can
of
say
them.
whatever
I'll
you
just
want.
say, like, I'm
You
not
just said Cheyenne was shitty.
That's true.
Shitty
No, I'm
Cheyenne.
not gonna get anybody. I'm
doesn't
serious.
mean it.
I guess I'm serious, and I don't play games when it comes to my business.
You do what you say you're gonna do.
I do what I say I'm gonna do, and it's like I do think that I'm the best company. I don't know why you wouldn't. You shouldn't be
Yeah.
out there, but I actually do try to put forth that effort, and just making sure my clients are satisfied is really just number one.
That's awesome. And actually, I was thinking, you were talking about self-care earlier in the,
Yeah.
I feel like this is self-care for your home, right?
Self-care for your home.
Self-care for your home.
Ooh, that's
It's your
going
next
on the
reel. That's going on there.
And you know what's going to go on ours is Shitty Cheyenne. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Actually, what did you say about love in Wyoming?
Love.
Wyoming is love.
Love brought me to Wyoming.
Love brought me to
Yep,
Wyoming,
yep.
something like that.
Love
So
brings- yeah.
we got a few taglines out of this
Love
today,
are your
Ryan.
orders.
What?
Love are your orders after tech school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you're them.
yeah.
Like you said, those three.
Those three. Well, in wrapping up, the one question that I ask everybody is, what is your favorite thing about Cheyenne?
Oh man, gosh, it is definitely, well, besides living close to my family, I just, how do I even put it this way? It's just such a great community, and I feel like there's a lot of serious entrepreneurs here, like people that own major businesses. They run major venues. They are just, you know, when I see them, I'm like, wow, they could crap me out. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But they're so accessible. You can go and talk to them. You know, whereas if we lived in a huge city, you wouldn't be able to go talk to huge owners or even awesome realtors and you know what I'm saying? Just
Or
really,
legislators
or
You have
anything.
access
The
to a
governor.
lot of things.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
just
The mayor, all the things.
the
Yeah.
mayor. Yeah, you can literally, when you just.
I mean, look
It's
at
hard
us
not
with
to
this
have a lot of friends
podcast. We
here.
have we can have the
Anybody we
sheriff. I mean,
want.
we've had the sheriff.
Yes.
We ask
Yeah.
them, and they're not like too big for it.
Well, I
Yeah.
used to say all the time, like in Wyoming, it's not unheard of to go out to eat and be sitting next to, in Gillette, it was Senator Enzi. His favorite place was Perkins. If you went
Yeah.
into Perkins, he could be sitting in there eating. I'm sure it's the same way in Casper with Senator Barrasso and,
Our governor all the time. I went
Yeah.
and had sushi, and he's sitting there
Yeah,
having sushi
I
with
mean,
his
it's
wife.
just how it is here. We get to be that way, which is really awesome.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the Secretary of State goes to my church.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, "Hey, this is Secretary of State." I'm like, "But he's sitting by us."
But he's sitting by
I'm like,
us.
"Why is he near?
Why
all
is he sitting with the
why is
common
he near-"
folk?
Yeah.
Common folk.
I was like, "What are you doing here, man? You shouldn't be here. You should be."
here.
You should be.
There should be an armed security guard
No.
around you.
He's a super good guy, but yeah, I think that's one of my favorite parts of Cheyenne. My other favorite part is, I guess I've always said this, is Cheyenne has allowed me to live the life that I have lived, and I feel very supported by all the businesses over the year. You know, because I've basically lived off other people saying, yes, you can do this
Yeah.
for my business,
Yeah.
which is pretty crazy when you think about it. And so that's another thing. I don't know. I'm just, yeah, Cheyenne's people give it a hard time, but you know, after a little bit, I think they learn to love it, kind of like me, you know.
So I'm gonna just throw this out here. So you're already reading my cartoons. So falling in love with somebody is what gets you here,
Yep.
but you fall in love with Wyoming once you get. Is that where you
I
thinking
was
the
just saying
same thing?
shitty. Cheyenne's not so shitty.
No.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
there we
no.
go.
When
Yeah.
people come here in winter, they're like, my first experience here was in February. I'm like,
Oh, darn it.
Sorry about your luck.
I'm like,
Stick around for a little bit. You'll like it
I'm like, let me
later.
take you out for a coffee.
Yeah.
Take you out for a coffee.
There's something
That's
like that,
funny.
but- Yeah,
All
Cheyenne's
right.
good.
Well, if you could buy real estate anywhere in the world and money was no object, where would it be? And why? Don't say in Boston, next to the Patriots Stadium, or we'll kick you off the podcast.
Yeah.
No, I'm still banned from there for like 10 more years.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
I know. Their rules are.
All you did was streak. No, I'm just kidding.
You heard about that? No. Oh,
Nice recovery.
word gets around. Where would I go? Dang it. Oh, man. I'm probably. That's tough. Because America's just the restaurants. I don't know.
You want to go to Germany?
No.
Or what are you thinking?
I
What
mean,
about?
probably? Shoot, come on, this is terrible. Probably somewhere hot for sure. Probably the Bahamas. I don't know, something like
beach
that.
or something.
Yeah, the beach or something like that. You know, maybe have like a little island or something like that of
Yeah, private
that
island.
nature. Yeah, a private island, not something crazy.
Not
Maybe like something
crazy.
the size of like Lions Park or something. You
Maybe
know,
what?
like something like the size of Lions Park.
I mean,
You know.
Kenny Chesney and Tim McGraw, those guys, I think, have
that Virgin
their own
Flow
islands.
guy.
I mean, that's nothing crazy. I mean, it's totally attainable.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, you're
That's
fun.
That's a hard one.
I think the beach sounds lovely.
It does.
Yeah, we'll just.
We're going to chalk it up to a beach.
Yeah.
Very nice.
An island, yeah. I think island.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Thank you for having
Yeah.
me.
And for anybody that wants to find Apex Property Care, they can just find you on Facebook. Is that correct? And they'll find your phone number and
Yep.
everything?
Facebook, Instagram, Apex Property Care. You can message me. I'm there.
okay.
Just I'm a.
Or
20
Peak Properties.
Peak
Yeah,
Properties,
you can find
yeah.
us on. You find him on the.
I am a realtor.
Yeah, you are a
Also.
realtor. I was going to throw that in
So,
at the end.
yeah,
So okay.
yeah. Peak Properties, but
Oh, funny story about being a realtor.
Yeah.
You guys, I wore this shirt into the title company today, and I kind of forgot. And some guy was like, "Hey, are you a realtor?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then he literally just like looked at me. I was like, "Oh, no, I just like the shirt."
That's funny. Well, thank you so much for being on today. And for all of our listeners, as you know, Lindy and I and Ryan are realtors here at Peak Properties. So you can find us at www.sellcheyenne.com if you're looking to buy or sell. And of course, Beyond the Front Door podcast on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. We hope you have a really great day.
Thank you.
thank you.
Let's take a picture real quick.
Yeah.
Whether you plan to buy, sell, or invest in southeastern Wyoming, turn to Peak Properties. Family and veteran owned and operated, we work diligently for you. Unlike other larger companies, we take time to learn about you, understand your specific real estate needs, and remain easily accessible if you have any questions.
Being a veteran and family-owned and operated company means a high level of commitment, trust, and loyalty. Our family culture sets us apart. We work as a team. We develop not just professional, but personal relationships with our clients. When you choose Peak Properties, you become part of our real estate family.
Looking to relocate to Wyoming or just move across town? Peak will be there for you every step of the way. Recognized for excellence and dedication in the real estate profession, we're proud to be one of the most trusted and knowledgeable names in our industry. Let Peak help you find your dream home or investment property today. Our agents will make sure you're informed and listened to as they guide you to fulfilling your real estate goals. Reach out today.
We have sold and purchased several homes through Peak Properties, and each time I've been impressed. They are great about guiding us in the right direction and always being in our corner.
Peak Properties. Let our family show you the way home.